Highguard is dead, and we're hardly surprised.
Last at the Game Awards, first to demise.
Fan blaming and toxic positivity without remorse.
An unfinished, broken game that left players little recourse.
Concord 2 has come, the second coming of Concord. It came and it's gone.
Yeah, I think it lasted maybe a month.
We got a lot to talk about here, and then we're going to actually go into an article that I wrote that I believe breaks down the main reasons why Highguard was canceled.
Highguard's final update arriving soon. Thank you for playing with us. You're not welcome. Today, we are sharing difficult news. We have made the decision to permanently shut down Highguard on March 12th. The day cannot come soon enough. Since launch, more than 2 million players have stepped into Highguard's world. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay. You shared feedback, created content, and many believed in what we were building. For that, we are deeply grateful.
The emphasis on the word building. You should have had the foundations already built before you did this, but okay.
Yeah. Despite the passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term. Servers will remain online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support and get those final great matches while we still can. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy in the remaining life of the game. We will be adding the new warden, a new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Why were there no skill trees to begin with?
Keep in mind, the game launched without account level progression and skill trees, but yet it was gamers' fault it didn't do well, right? It wasn't the fact that it didn't have features that it needed.
Full patch notes are coming, and we are targeting tonight or tomorrow morning for patch release. Do those patches include fixing the game?
No, it's adding functions they should have had on launch.
Yeah. From all of us at Wildlight, thank you for playing, for supporting us, and for being part of Highguard's story. And how much do you want? And how much do you want to bet that one of their few quote unquote fans is going to try doing like Overlord and staying in the game right as the servers shut down so that they can be transported into the world of Highguard? I guarantee someone's going to try it.
The DEI Lord. No. So they released the patch where it was the farewell to account progression skill tree and a new warden and a new weapon. And they also mentioned the main reason the game died. One of the people said, when you're out of time and money, you have to release a game with the runway you have available and hope players will stick with you post-launch. And to that, I'm going to break down exactly why this game failed, okay? I wrote a great article about this that for some reason people thought was AI because it was so well written, but my wife can attest to the fact that she watched me type it out by my hands.
I literally watched him typing it out. His fingers were moving faster than I have ever seen them move.
I made an article, and it's on Twitter for those of you who want to find it. It is my only article that I've written so far. It is called Highguard, a case study in failure. So I'm going to read it because I think this cannot summarize things better than this. Highguard is a case study in failure that should be studied because there is a lot for game developers to learn from this. I'm going to break it down into points just like I did with Josh Sobel's article before he deleted his entire X account. Josh Sobel was one of the devs who blamed gamers and then deleted his account because he's an idiot. Number one, the Game Awards. This was the initial reason for the game's failure and one of the linchpins that set it up for failure. It was in the coveted last slot, which meant it should have had potential. And maybe it did. But placing it there set up unreasonable expectations, and backlash was quick in coming. I'm not sure if it's the fault of the Highguard devs or Geoff Knightley, but putting it in that slot was a bad decision. So there's one. Two, oversaturation. The market is being flooded with games similar to Highguard. If you're making a game in a saturated market, you need to make it stand out, and Highguard didn't do that. Three, lacking polish and glitches. If you read the forums, many people were having issues with Highguard, and multiple patches had to be rolled out to address it. Some patches are normal, but if the game is launched with bugs so bad that many couldn't even play it, then it shouldn't have been released. Period. 4. Blaming gamers instead of reflecting. At least 2 developers, if not more, came out and blamed fans for the game doing poorly. Yes, its placement in the Game Awards caused hate, and yes, there was backlash. But it still had 100K players on day 1 and lost almost all of them in a day. You can't blame people for that. And finally, 5. Toxic positivity. In the post written by Josh Sobel, which basically blamed gamers for everything wrong with the game, he mentioned that everyone around him said the game was great and would never fail. That is a flawed mentality, and it is 100% toxic positivity. Without actual pushback or criticism, refinement is impossible, and egos become big and fragile. And finally, the final paragraph that I wrote here, which is a great conclusion to this. And you could say more if you want, honey, after this.
Of course. Keep going. You're on a roll.
In the end, Highguard basically shot itself in the foot, limped forward, picked up a sledgehammer, and bludgeoned that foot over and over until it fell off, and cried about how it was too good to fail and how it must be someone else's fault. It wasn't. The environment contributed, but the real reason Highguard failed was because it was set up for failure and nothing else. Success was never going to come from a biased group of people who were going to praise the game because they needed it to succeed. Gamers notice when people are sniffing their own farts, and it was rightfully called out, and eventually it fell apart. If you're a game dev who worked on this game or one who is working on any game, read this, learn from it, and stop blaming the world for your fragile ego.
Well said. That was wonderful. And I especially love that ending analogy of shooting in the foot and then bludgeoning that foot with a sledgehammer.
No, honey, clearly it was super well written, so it has to be AI, right?
Yes, because people don't know how to actually write on their own anymore.
Regardless, Highguard is dead. It deserved to die. And honestly, the main reason it died is because of the devs and the people involved and their own hubris. Everyone around you was saying, it's the best ever, it'll never fail, but you couldn't launch it with basic features like skill trees or levels, then it was going to die. You should have known this.
What kind of shooter game doesn't have levels? I've never heard of that.
How do you launch a shooting game without those features in it before you put it out there? You didn't. And then you're like, why aren't people playing our game? It must be the haters.
Maybe because gamers who've played these kinds of games recognize that the game is not finished. Weird how that works.
Share with your crew, escape life's hell. From spooky memes to advice obscure, here's your dark solace of humor as a cure.